After an entire year of build-up, WrestleMania has finally been and gone, and so the pundits begin their painstaking process of tearing it to pieces in the hopes of being able to glean some hidden insights, and to decide exactly where this WrestleMania fits amongst all the others. But not me. I just don't know enough about wrestling to be able to give an answer like that. So instead, here's my thoughts on the show, broken down into an easy-to-digest list format. People of the internet, I bring you the best, worst and mixed bag of WrestleMania, not sponsored by Snickers. The opening contest, Seth vs Finn vs The Miz. Sometimes, you just need good chemistry to pull off a match, and it's especially important when it opens the show. Seth vs Finn vs Miz had it in spades. Fast-paced action with a simple story and talented competitors. Anyone could have taken the IC title and it would have felt justified. But Seth Rollins got another strong WrestleMania win, The Miz gets to alter his character slightly with his entry into fatherhood, and Finn gets to wear a snazzy new rainbow t-shirt. Everyone's a winner. Asuka vs Charlotte. The SmackDown Women's title bout saw Asuka and Charlotte give a barn-burning performance in what may be the best match of the entire pay-per-view. It was quick, agile and hard-hitting, with a very clever storyline involving targeting body parts and submission moves that didn't sacrifice any of the pace. The crowd was fired up for this one, every finisher by the end making people question if this would be enough for Asuka or Charlotte to win. If anyone tells you that women's wrestling isn't worth watching, make them see this one, and then the other great women's matches that we've had in the last 3 years, and then make them watch this one again. Ronda Rousey's match was surprisingly good. This was one of the biggest gambles that WWE have made in a while. Ronda Rousey's popular for sure, but she's also said some stuff in the past that made people wary of her, and there was no guarantee she'd be able to wrestle to a good standard. Wearing Roddy Piper's famous leather jacket didn't really fill many people with confidence. As it turned out, the bet paid off. She can wrestle, and with ring veterans like Triple H, Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle there to enhance her strength and minimise her inexperience, we got a pretty good match out of it. Certainly better than Pee Wee Herman. Yes! Yes! Daniel Bryan's back. People overuse the phrase Cinderella story. They even overuse the word comeback. This moment was arguably both, as Daniel Bryan returns to in-ring competition and doesn't seem to have missed a step. I hope he continues to keep his brain safe, as he's probably got a lot left in the tank as long as he paces himself. That Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon all put in a good performance only added to the triumphant feeling when the Yes Lock was locked in and Sami tapped. Welcome back, D-Bry. The bully loses. Let's face it, WWE has a weird position on bullying. They're against it and spearheaded an anti-bullying campaign, yet bullies run rampant on the actual programming and often don't get their due comeuppance. Just ask Booker T in 2003. Thankfully, Nia Jax beat the size-phobic Weasley troll Alexa Bliss, if not quite as quickly as it could have been, and everything was okay with the world. Who knows if WWE will actually give Nia the push she deserves, but one can hope. John Cena's WrestleMania moment. John Cena is the Marmite of the WWE, being both loved and hated. Still, despite what you might think, he's had big matches at every WrestleMania for years, so having a year where he misses every chance to get in, desperately challenges The Undertaker, hears nothing, and then gets messed around by Elias is a really good piece of storytelling. The look on Cena's face when he stands on that turnbuckle and celebrates his WrestleMania moment was worth the price of admission, and the fact that the Taker then appears and squishes him is just the icing on the cake. Better luck next year, John. The breaking of Asuka's streak. While the match between Charlotte and Asuka was great, the finish seemed to upset a lot of people. I wasn't one of those people at the time, but in retrospect it seems the main reason to do it, other than to boost up Charlotte, who arguably doesn't even need it, is to set the scene for Shinsuke Nakamura's heel turn later on in the event. And while the WWE has been a lot better than it used to be in regards to how it treats its female wrestlers, betting one of their USPs to set up someone else's feud isn't really the sort of message you want to be putting across. At least the hug was nice. Rusev's not US champion. Rusev seems to have joined the not-so-illustrious list of wrestlers that got popular when the WWE didn't want them to, and like Zack Ryder before him, it's led to nothing but bad news. Admittedly, Rusev losing to Jinder Mahal isn't as bad as being humiliated on live TV and shoved off a stage in a wheelchair by Kane, but the decision doesn't make much sense. The match itself was okay, but when you take into consideration that half the competitors are the boring dad brigade, it just didn't really hold up. Thankfully, despite lots of rumours, it seems Rusev still with the WWE, so it may one day be Rusev Day again. The matches were in the right order. It's easy to make this sort of point in hindsight, especially since it's not as if WWE would know which matches would sparkle and which wouldn't get out of second gear, but the effect is still pretty noticeable. The last quarter of the show didn't live up to the first three, and it wouldn't have taken a lot of effort to get there. If the Raw Women's match had been swapped with the SmackDown Women's match, and the Raw Tag match with either the Cena Undertaker squash or the Ronda Rousey match, then the whole event would have felt a lot more balanced. It's not something that usually bothers me, but for your biggest show of the year, the ebb and flow has to be right, and it just wasn't this time. Nicholas and Braun versus the Bar. Let me get this out of the way now. I like the Nicholas twist. If silliness was removed completely from wrestling, then I wouldn't watch it anymore. Like a lot of things in this section, however, a good idea on paper doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be gold when it hits the ring. In this case, they took a bit too long to pick Nicholas, and the Bar just didn't get enough offense in. Sheamus and Cesaro are one of the best tag teams, so having them get smushed by Braun so easily just makes them look bad, and it didn't exactly give Braun any more credibility than he'd already gotten. On the plus side, everything to do with the Mardi Gras flow was brilliant. Run, parade people, run! The Bludgeon Brothers. This match did what it needed to do, but it didn't do it in a way that was really interesting. Harper and Rowan needed a dominant win, but with the calibre of talent that was in the opposing teams, it didn't need to be as short as it turned out to be. Having Jimmy and Jey Uso fighting the New Day before the Bludgeon Brothers got involved would be a great way of giving the crowd what they wanted, and making sure the two bearded bruisers look like monsters. Still, its shortness also means that it didn't outstay its welcome, and I'm willing to see where the Bludgeon Brothers go from here. Still not sure about those runes though, or the Pancake People. Shinsuke vs AJ. A word to the wise, never overhype a match. It's as tale as old as professional wrestling, and it seems that WWE still isn't immune to it. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura are some of the best in the world. There was just something missing from this New Japan-esque contest that didn't shift it out of second gear. It would have been a pretty good match on Fastlane or Night of Champions, but both the opening and celebrity matches outshone it. What saved it in the end was Shinsuke's ball shot. If Raw the next night is anything to go by, this may give the King of Strong Style the shot in the arm he needs. Dream match? Not quite. Bad match? Nah. Disappointing match? Yeah. Roman vs Brock. If there's anything that sums up WWE, it's the phrase, flying by the seat of your trousers. What seemed to be a 3-year build to a coronation for the big dog ended up as another victory for Brock, who just happened to have signed an extension to their contract just before the event happened. Funny that. You can see where WWE was trying to go with this, that Roman took more of a beating than just about anyone else on the roster and still nearly won, but the memories of the last two WrestleMania main events make Roman look incapable of performing when it matters. The rematch is set for the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, and I wouldn't be surprised if Roman got the belt this time. The question is it too late? But what did you think of WrestleMania? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please like it and share it with someone you know. If you want to see more videos, please click the subscribe button. I'm Joseph, and this was my thoughts on WrestleMania 34. I'll speak to you soon.